confused. Is it the channel that we're supposed to be focusing on? This gets back to the Chief Justice's first question in the last argument. Or is it the message at issue itself? Because I had thought I heard you say, if the message were about a private family matter and you were blocked from that, you wouldn't have any recourse. So which is it? Is it the channel or is it the message?
So I think in part it depends on what function you're complaining about. If your complaint is you're being blocked from access to the page, then it's the channel that matters. It's the entire page and your access to information. If, on the other hand, you're complaining because your comment was deleted from a post, it obviously matters what the post was about. If it was a post about cats, then you don't have any constitutional complaint.
What if the individual harasses the public official on all of his personal, cat pictures and children pictures, and he finally gets fed up and he just blocks them?
Yeah. So I think
from the channel.
Sure.
So then that's state action.
So I think it could be in the exact same way that it could be if, for instance, you were on an official page of the town and you were being harassing. At some point,
no, all the harassing in my hypothetical has to do with cats.
No, I understand.
The commenter hates cats.
Sure.
And maybe he hates your children too. I don't know. But if I block a person for that, at some point, even though it's all my personal stuff, that's state action.
So I think, again, let's say, in official town pages, all the time they say, here's someone enjoying themselves in the park. And let's say you posted something.
I understand you want to change the hypothetical. I get it. I get it. But just answer mine if you want.
Sure. So the answer is there still would be state action, but it would probably easily pass the First Amendment, and especially with a qualified immunity overlay, it would be a very easy case. There would be no problem.
Yeah, but there's litigation. I don't want to interrupt.
No, please interrupt.
Once it's state action, then there's an issue. And I guess one of the concerns I have about your position and just the line drawing is to define doing your job as talking about your job is really quite all-encompassing, really, because a lot of elected officials I've been around love going to the grocery store and talking to people after church, and that's where they learn things to help them do their job better. And they're thinking in their mind, yeah, I'm going to church, I'm going to the grocery, but I'm also going to pick up things. Yes. Or going to the game, or going to the high school football game on Friday night, and I'm going to see a lot of people, and that's going to help me get my finger on the pulse of the community about whatever issue it might be.
And I understand that, but I think that's what the distinction between talking about your job, which you might do at the grocery store, and establishing a communication with constituents about your in-office conduct, which is something that happens on an ongoing basis.
So the two key words I think you used there were establishing and channel. And I don't know what it takes to, quote, in the brick and mortar world to establish a channel, but if you have a regular pattern of seeing a group of people. Let's meet. I want to meet at my house with old friends regularly to talk about what they think's going on.
So I think
in the community for purposes of helping me figure out what legislation to propose as a state rep, say.
I think there, if you were just issuing an invitation to your friends, that's very different than issuing a general invitation to everyone in the town, all your constituents, who you basically say, I will interact with anyone who comes, but according to my friends from the other side, you could essentially say, but only the white citizens of the town are invited.
Right. But it goes back to who you want to include and who you want to exclude, I guess. And I think elected officials and appointed officials rely on groups of people who are supporters, friends, people they've known, people who are fair-minded, not people who are just going to come and scream at them, to get advice, thoughts, including negative and critical thoughts. But they want to exclude, the person who's the jerk who's going to interrupt the whole thing.
So I think it's easy sort of on the extremes where either you're just inviting an old friend or you're inviting everyone in the town because they're constituents, which is essentially what Freed was doing. In the middle, I grant you there will be difficult cases where it sort of seems like you are inviting everyone only that you like, or there may be other ways to divide the hypothetical. But I think in a case like Facebook, where essentially anyone with a profile could look at Mr. Freed's page, I think it's relatively clear the invitation was to everyone in the town.